Kevin Taylor Akasa, after Chairman Wontumi was sentenced to 20 years in prison in hard labor. You and I know one person who has been pressing the neck of NPP and Chairman Wontumi in particular is Kevin Taylor. In fact, Kevin Taylor has stood by, fighting against the system, stating that Chairman Wontumi should be jailed. Now, finally, Emra Yamani, 20 years in prison in hard labor, Kevin Taylor has decided to talk. So on X, formerly Twitter, and Kevin Taylor, a day, the message, a fire, jubilating that yes, finally the system is working. So as you are seeing on the screen, Kevin Taylor, right after the announcement was made, came to post the flyer from 3 News. Mucho said, Wontumi sentenced to 20 years imprisonment with hard labor for engaging in illegal mining, with the caption, "The table has turned fully." The table has turned fully. So Kevin Taylor is trying to tell the system, NPP supporters and sympathizers, fans of Chairman Wontumi, that they wished Kevin Taylor, would be jailed. So what I say, will be jailino. But finally, the table has turned. And guess who has been jailed? It is their own person, Chairman Wontumi. So this is the reaction that Kevin Taylor brought. Now, a lot of people are shocked. I'm not going to lie. Because they least expected that Chairman Wontumi, of all people, would be jailed. Not because he's above the law, but because he has money, influence, power, and political connection. He holds a key position within the NPP. In fact, he has a voice within the NPP party. So for him to be jailed, not 5 years, not 2 years, but 20 years, they are shocking a lot of people. But wow, Shemi, what do you make of this? Do you think 20 years was too much? The system was harsh on him? Or you think he deserves that? Please let me know under the comment box. Now, before leaving you, TV3 reporters were on the ground. They picked huge HSA report from the High Court. Mama share that video as a sign off. Yeah, Kaimo 7 Bars TV. So, any update?
Even in terms of appeal, I don't think, speaking with a legal mind, I don't think this is a judgment and a sentence that would be taken lying down by lawyers of Chairman Wontumi. Indeed, we got that inkling when they started pleading for a reduction in the sentence. That is what the lawyers call mitigation. After the sentence has been pronounced, you would have some sort of attempt from the lawyers to try to reduce the sentence for the convicted person. They are not disputing the conviction at this moment. At this moment, they are saying that, look, you have convicted our client. We don't have a problem with it yet, but kindly see to a reduction in the sentence. That is the exercise that happened after the conviction. And whilst that was happening, in fact, the demeanor on the look of the lawyer Atachia was somewhat anger and curiosity, not so happy. Lord Eduasare, how exactly do you describe that?
So, Sixtus, let me just give a bit of a throwback. You recall that the lawyer Atacha, he filed some motion indicating that he was going to travel, and as a result, he wouldn't be present. And so he sent 3 or 4 junior lawyers to come and represent them, and they made a mitigating plea. They made a mitigating plea for the sentence to be reduced.
All right. Let me cut in that. We have a leading voice of the NPP, but I'm not sure that he wants to grant us any interviews. We have. He's swamped, and he actually is not in the mood to grant us that interview. So we will get back to discussing, Lawyer Atachia, what happened in court.
Yes, so, 4 junior lawyers were sent by Lawyer Atachia because he had sent a letter Friday that he was pleading for a deferment of the judgment against Chairman Wontumi. So essentially, the lawyers who were present, they seemed very uncomfortable with what was going on when they attempted to use that motion for the case to be tried, essentially the Supreme Court.
Again, we're coming to you live from the courthouse right here in Accra. And certainly that's where we broke the news live here on TV3, 3FM, as well as across our subsidiaries and across social media platforms where we're streaming live. Chairman Entry Boysiako, an accused and subsequently convicted in this case for a number of offenses in relation to mining activities.
He's been sentenced to 20 years in hard labor with a penalty unit of 10,000 for the 2 counts that he has been charged with. Let me just quickly run you through the charges which were preferred against Chairman Wontumi. There was count 1, which was the assignment of mineral rights. We have the Deputy Attorney General here.
We have the Deputy Attorney General. Congratulations, Deputy AG. Some would say that this is a huge victory for the department. Wouldn't you say so? I mean, this has generated a lot of public interest, and I'm sure that there are those who would be applauding you that indeed you have fought a good fight. Is that how you say it?
Let me get to the stage.
All right, the Deputy Attorney General is trying to position himself well so that at least we can get one word from him. I'm sure that is a judgment that excites the department, that at least one victory has come, but it might not just be one that the department would want to keep mute over. Definitely would have to hear from them, but as it stands now, the Deputy EG has declined the invitation to comment on the judgment that has been pronounced and the sentence.
The only thing I did in court was to plead for Mr. Wontumi in terms of the sentencing, and it is not because it's Mr. Wontumi. It's a very ordinary thing we all do in court, where if you believe that as a friend of the court you need to put in 1 or 2 for an accused person, we do it. And we do it not because we don't believe in the sentencing, we don't believe in the conviction, or we have issues with the conviction. As for the conviction, yes, it was all done, but it was the sentencing. So you remember what I said was that since the court itself has established that Mr. Wontumi is the directing minds for most of his businesses, so it means that if the court keeps him in incarceration for long, his businesses are going to be affected. So the court should consider the fact that he's a businessman and he employs a lot of people directly and indirectly. So it was to the youth unemployment that could come as a result of his being away from his businesses. That was the only thing. I was just appealing to the mind of the judge.
Are you in any way related to Mr. Wontumi?
No, I am not.
Do you have any business dealing with Mr. Wontumi?
My name is Bernard, so probably just by name, but I have no business with him. I had just come to court to listen, but I was just moved.
So this was just an officer of the court doing the job?
It is pure out of courtroom practice, where any person could get up as a friend of the court and put in some words in mitigation for an accused person who has been convicted. So it's not because I have any personal relationship with Wontumi, and I'm not his lawyer on record. It was just out of normal court practice I did that.
That you rose to your feet to try to
appeal to the emotions and the conscience of the judge. To just tamper justice with me. So I was hoping for the barest minimum of punishment.
But what do you think? What do you think going forward? Should the lawyers go on appeal on this matter? What would that barest minimum be for
you? I think don't matter now, because I'm not a lawyer on record for Mr. Wontumi. I only did what a lot of lawyers do in court, that we try to intervene for an accused person who has been convicted. That is what I did.
So what is the barest minimum
the law? As to what I expected the court to do, it is by law 15 years. So if the judge had given him the minimum, I would have been happy. But for all those things we had said, maybe he was going to get something. I don't know. I'm not in the mind of the judge, I feel that what we did, myself and the other lawyer, is very ordinary in the ways courts handle matters. So please let me.
Thank you so much. So you heard the voice of a lawyer who this is what the lawyers will call an amicus. He rose to his feet after, as a friend of the court, in an attempt to get the court to reduce the sentence. And we heard from him, he has no ties to this man whatsoever, no business dealings with Chairman Wontumi, no political connection. He's just a lawyer who was in court, who saw the processes and felt that the judge could have, done something a bit lower than the 20 years, that have been handed down to Chairman Wontumi. That is his motivation. That is his inspiration. That is the reason he decided to rise to his feet and to ask the court to do something about this.
Vimbaz TV.